Don't forget, we'll be on together.
We just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old every single day without the stop. Please watch the first 2 episodes. The second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good evening, everyone. It's the history of literature and other history thrown in and whatever. I think we've got a guest coming on from America, actually. She's ex-Scouser. She's a great girl, great businesswoman, and her name's Josephine Whittaker. And she's coming on. What she wants to know about, she grew up where I grew up and where Anthony's family grew up, in the Everton area of Liverpool, down the Scotland Road area. And she wants to know about the tribes of Liverpool. And it's very interesting, actually. It really is interesting. And not only that, but you get the poverty also around the area. It was terrible poverty in Liverpool at the time, albeit that Liverpool was a very, 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 very rich city. It was also very poor, if you know what I mean. The slum areas, we've got fantastic buildings, which I'm very proud of, by the way. When I show people, I've shown them in the past. I've been going around saying, yeah, look at that, look at this. And I'm talking not just Liverpool people, but also people from America, people from, different parts of the world. And I always remember this particular pair, 2 fellas. They were in the same group, but they didn't know each other. They never had a clue. And yet, they were expats who lived in Australia. And they were in the, they came home to see the family and they went around. And this fella, he must have been about 70. About 70, and he came home to see his family. And he said to me, I came home, he said, because I won't be able to come back again, he said, the way I am. So he said, I've made my last visit to this great city of ours. And he was saying how it's changed. Look at this and look at that and that. This is what he was saying. He's saying, this is fantastic. And then there was another fella, as I said, from Australia. They made the same journey, but they never had a clue they were, each other, that is. And he was saying, God, he said, I've been away for 20 years. And he was a lot younger. He was about 40, I think. And he said, it's not half changed around here. And that was like the Scotland Road area.
Of course,
it was
yeah.
Just shows you, though, doesn't it, Anthony, from a fella who had left 50 years before to a fella, saying how much it's changed for the better. And the fella who left 20 years before also saying how it's changed for the better. See what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's great, but the landmarks in any city, but certainly Liverpool, were always churches and pubs, weren't they? And the streets of them, you
Yes,
know, and
yes.
yeah, yeah,
Say hello to our lads and girls, eh?
yeah. Good evening, one and all.
And CW says, good evening, Frank, Anthony, and chat.
Good evening, TW. Hope you're good.
Like and subscribe on the way in, please, says the TW. And thank you, T, for that. And Toscana, buonasera, Franco, Anthony, and chatters. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you, Toscana.
Good evening, Toscana.
Isn't that nice?
That's a beautiful way to start.
Yeah, yeah. And what we're going to do, see, last night I had the football show, and
Yeah.
it was horrible. I'm not sure. Besides the match being horrible and the result, which was worse, there was some horrible racist trying to get in, doing the N word. It was. We can't be having that. But the moderators, like Johan, for example, he was blocking them all the time, and Jason too. But these people go under different names. And I don't know why, these people are coming out with this filth and expecting. I can't explain. I've got no explanation for it, Anthony. These racists.
Yeah. It's just a platform. They know that you're popular, and they know that there's a lot of people. So it's like, someone standing on a soapbox and at a big festival. They know they've got an audience, so they behave like idiots.
I don't think. I think they mean it though as well. That's the worst thing.
It's the horror of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's Johan as well. Good evening, Frank, Mr. Brown, and legends. Smash the likes on the way in.
Cheers, Mr. Kindness. We will.
Jason says Josephine sends apologies. She had to call an engineer out to a boat, so can't make. All right, no problem. I was going to go on about, when I said that she's coming on, because this is what kind of a person she is. Do you know what she used to do, Anthony? She's a Liverpool fan, and she used to go up by Anfield. People used to park their cars around on Ollers and, streets, and she used to go around saying, can you mind your car? So from a little girl, she had this business sort of quality from a little girl, and she was very successful over in America, very successful. And there she is, living on the marina with a yacht. She's got her own yacht.
That's brilliant. I really enjoyed meeting her on your show, and it's just fantastic.
It says, any successful person that goes, abroad and, tries to. I applaud them. Anyone. I
think that in terms of my thinking, that's part of Liverpool's greatest asset is its people. Greatest export is its people. And you've reeled them off through history. We've had them, from Irish descent, from Italian descent, and we have some remarkable people.
Of course we do. And I looked at her X today, and it was Terry Christian. He used to be on Channel 4 doing whatever he did.
Yeah.
And he put up a thing. It was about Churchill, and he said lots of people hated Churchill, and he was saying about Scotland. The Scottish hate him, and these hate him, and they, and the Welsh, and he was giving little things in. And I said, you forgot one major city. I said, when he sent up 2 frigates up the Mersey in 1911 to quell a strike, a general strike, and 50,000 armed troops and 6,000 policemen from Birmingham and Leeds to quell these lads who went on strike for the fabric of life. I said, did you forget that? Or didn't you have a clue about what's going on? You just mentioned these other things. And 2 lads, 2 dockers, were shot dead by those troops that came into Liverpool. You see what I mean? So, see how we've forgotten.
It is forgotten, and it's brushed over, and unfortunately that's the way human mindset is. If someone puts up a picture and says, these are great people, then no one wants to be the first to say, actually, they're not. They're not great people.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to rock any, you want to fit in. And that's what we're living in at the moment. And you sent me you sent to Jason and I a wonderful quote by the great Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
Which is, Yeah,
it's about, do you know what though? You know the way some people react to these wonderful, wonderful people, the likes of us, for example, and the likes of Oscar Wilde, and these quotes, and, you had Tolstoy saying, history would be a wonderful thing if it was true. And you have the likes of Oscar Wilde saying, nowadays, people know the price of everything and the value of nothing.
Yeah. Same as it was. Yeah. Too. Yeah.
I love it. Snapey says, can't stay too long. Grandkids are here, so distraction abounds. Have a good show, gentlemen. Thank you, Snapey.
Thank you, Snapey.
Thank you, mate. And
Toscana saying,
yeah,
TW.
Yeah, they're just letting. I love them when they're onto one another, acknowledging each other. And Toscana says the racists are trying to wind us up. They want us to bite. It's how they get their kicks. It is how they get the kicks. And Barry Aldridge, I'll have to put my glasses on, I brought my reading glasses in this time. Can't bloody read. And Barry says, evening, Frank and Anthony. Any further news on your treatment, Frank? No, I'm going for injections tomorrow, which I'm not looking forward to be honest. But I've got to go and get them, and that's it. So I'll let you know anyway. I will let you know. I really will. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Going tomorrow. But thanks for asking anyway, buddy. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. And the Snape says, bang on Toscana, oblivion and kryptonite to them. The racist he's talking about. To be honest. Horrible. I had an electrician round the house and we were commiserating about last night's match. He's never liked slots. Oh, go away. He's having a slow. Oh, blimey. That's brilliant.
He's
Yeah,
waving goodbye though, wouldn't he?
he's what?
He'd wave him goodbye.
I hope so, you know. I really do. I've been looking at some things today and they just want him gone now. He's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. Paulie, hi Frank and Anthony, evening chat. Isn't that nice? So they're all with us. We're all going to talk about some things here. And little Linda. Even Frank and Anthony. Isn't that nice?
Evening, Linda. Hope you and Paulie and all the guys are all good.
Yeah, there we are, right. And Toscana says, would it be easy if you use caps? Well, the likes of the Snape and Barry, you know, I've always used caps, but I've got my reading glasses on now, so. And look, Paulie says, I'm off for 5 minutes, quick shower. Won't be long. All right, Paulie.
Hey, Paulie. I've got a watch on, you know, I'm timing you.
Timing, yeah. And I know it's history time, but what a wasted season. It's ridiculous what happened. And Youssef, do you know this fella, Anthony? He comes on, like, you know, the pods, you know, when I'm doing like a pre-match. And he said, we're going to get beat today. Right. And ever since he's been saying, we're going to get beat today, we've been winning. And last night he said, we're going to get beat today. And so we were laughing about it. Little did he know that, you know, we were going to be beaten. And that's what he says. Better off doing these shows instead of football from now on.
Oh. I know.
And the Snake says, I'll doff my caps then, Frank. Yeah, you know, if it's easier, as I said, but the only you say you wouldn't know if I'm just, if I'm wearing them or not, you see. That's the problem. But you will, when I start going like, what was that? And Linda says, May season last night, I read.
Diabolical.
That is the little Lambie. Good evening, Frank, Anthony, and everyone in the chat. Hiya.
Good evening, Amby.
Good to see you, Ellen. Youssef, yeah, my reverse psychology winning streak sentence. Reverse psychology.
Well, it works sometimes.
But, you know, when Mo Salah scored, equalised, I thought we were going to go on and win this. And I actually said it's going to let Slot out of jail again. But it never happened. Never happened. So listen, mate, history and what we've got. But people have to understand really about what we were going through. And
yeah, that part is why we love the authors we love, because there's not many people who would commit pen to paper to address that kind of distance in society.
Well, Polo says, hey, Frank and Antonio, sorry I'm late, don't worry. And Barry says, okay, Frank, what's the plan for tonight? I'll let you know right now. And Polo says, what are today's topics? Today's topics, I'm being honest with you here, is I don't know. I think it's a mixture of everything, isn't it? Because our guest has failed to come on, which is unfortunate. She's got these engineers on her yacht, which is stuck and not stuck, but which is moored in Los Angeles, LA.
Yeah.
The marina down there, very posh area of LA, the marina. And so she's got some engineers on a yacht, whatever's there along with the yacht. Or I don't know. She might be taking them fishing, I just don't know. But she will be on. She's a great girl, ex-Scouser. Well, Barry did say the plans. What's the plans for tonight? And Snape's nice answer said, the plant, Barry Aldridge. I'll turn over a new leaf then.
Yeah.
And Toscana is so sad to hear that Len Gary has passed away. He was in the Quarrymen, with John Lennon from the Beggings, and when Lennon was introduced to McCartney.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy, I believe. I've never met him personally myself, but a word of him, yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, it is, But there's nothing worse. He has a life. Poor John didn't. It was cut down in his prime, so that's the way I look at it.
Yes, absolutely, Frank. Absolutely right. And as are so many of the people we all love to talk about, because they put down on paper the thoughts and the plans, and it's like tonight, it's like we are never what you're going to describe historically in Liverpool. We are never 50 feet away from that, are we?
No.
And Dickens wrote about it. Charlotte Bronte wrote about it. And the great William Blake wrote about it. The disparity between society. Unfortunately, we're not unequal. I don't have $1 billion. I've only got $500 million because you've got the other half.
No, Jason's got my $500 million. I just want to show the people this. That it's. I'm going to show you where around this is. This is in the Everton area, to be honest. I'll remove it, and I'll show you on the big map, which I'll be able to see, is around here, all around here, all around there. And where I grew up, believe it or not, it's just around here. That's where I grew up. This is where born and bred, around there. But it was terrible, terrible poverty. And I'll show you the poverty that we were suffering. Fucking hell. I'll show you the poverty that we were suffering from. Now, there's your wealth. There's your wealth in the city.
Your status.
Sorry?
Your status, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is it.
You have to be seen to be wealthy.
And this is 1886 from the Daily Post editorial. The highest type of civilization and the lowest type of savagery are to be found in Liverpool, existing side by side, and in no city in the world can a more startling contrast of the two races of mankind, the civilized and the uncivilized, be found. And that was said about Liverpool. And that's taken from a Liverpool editorial, the Daily Post.
Yeah, the Post and the Mercury and stuff.
You see, it's not like from an outside. This is in the inside. And I'll read that again. The highest type of civilization. Now that's the elite in Liverpool.
The wealthy.
Yes. And the lowest type of savagery are to be found in Liverpool, existing side by side. And in no city in the world can a more startling contrast of two races of mankind, the civilized and the uncivilized, be found. Who do you think they were having a go at there?
You were having to go to poor.
Yeah, but a certain poor.
Well, in the main would be the Irish.
The
I think.
Irish.
But it's having a go at the people who came from Italy, the people who came from Germany, the people who came from Ireland. Men and women were all highly skilled, but they're strangers in a strange land. So it's easy to dump them all the same, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, when you look back at the Italian immigrants, it's easy to say they're immigrants. They know nothing. Therefore, they're uneducated. But of course, they weren't. They were stonemasons. They were business people. Same as the
Well,
Irish.
they were the only race of people, the Italians, that could do one type of work that no one else could do.
Yeah.
And they were sent all around the world to do it. And do you know what that was, Anthony?
That was
No, it wasn't copping off with girls or anything.
oh,
These are-
for a while. No, it was the marble.
Yes, it was the terrazzo floor layers. You know, the mosaic. And no one could do it. No one could perfect it like the Italians. They'd been doing it for a couple of thousands of years. And, you know, people used to send for them all over the place, you know, America, Australia, New Zealand, even in Europe itself. And here, I always remember I was in St. George's Hall once, and I was talking about the Minton tile floors.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that they would have got the Italians in? And they said, well, there was no like communication with the Italians. You know, by the time the hall opened in 1854, and the lads was spot on when he said to me, but they did send for them at the later part of the 1870s and 80s and 90s and coming into the 20th century. And where you can find a great mosaic in Liverpool, you know, in a huge building, is in the Port of Liverpool building, the Pierhead. That's where you can find all these mosaic. Two of my great uncles were terrazzo floor layers, and I think one of them worked on it. Worked on the floors, you know, going up, and that's the beauty of the immigrants who came over, because they like Liverpool, and they started to come over in the droves.
Yeah.
the Italians. But where did they go? Where do you reckon they went to live?
From here or from, I think the one of the aims would have been, because of the propaganda about the new lands in America, one of the aims would have been to go over there. Don't know, but in Liverpool.
No, I mean in Liverpool. Where did they go to live in Liverpool?
They came into Liverpool's own Ellis Island, which is Scotland.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. Well, when they came over, no matter what immigrants, no matter what part of the world immigrants go to, they always want to live by the river or the sea. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Because it's easier to get out.
Yeah.
It's easy to get in by, boat. But if they don't like it, it's easier to get out by boat, if you know what I mean. And it was like that for hundreds of years. So when the Italians came over, what they did, they had to look for the parish churches, for example.
Yeah.
And people of their own kinds. What I mean by saying their own kinds, their own religious persuasion. So where did they go and live? In Liverpool.
It's the Catholic quarter. It's Scotland Road.
Scotland Road. Yeah. Right next to the Irish.
Exactly, who were looking for a similar thing.
Yep.
You know.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And that was here. Right here.
Yeah.
That's Scotty Road there. Right here. Because you've got the tunnel here, right?
Yeah.
And you've got Byram Street there. Scotland Road. And there, I can't move it over any further, unfortunately.
No.
See? Just can't move it. But anyway, there's your Scotland Road. And you had St. Anthony's Church as well, which was just a bit further up. And that was the parish church.
Yes.
So, but when they started to live there, and they started to move actually into here, this is all the Everton area, right around here, all the Everton area.
Yeah.
I'll show you something now. So you're seeing like the wealth, right? And this is where, I'm sorry about this, people. This is where you have the gangs in these poverty-stricken areas. And this is why they said, I will do, Jay. Thank you, mate. Thank you. I will do. I'll just remove this a minute. I want to go on to these, you see. This is what we're going to be talking about, Anthony. Right, I would just want to get this right here. I want to get the Scotland Road area right. Good God. Have I got it? No. I'm just looking for something there. Just to get it right. I want to be spot on. I want to show where this St. George's Church there. See there?
Yeah.
In Everton, that's St. George's Church now. And over here, I think that's brilliant, though. that thing here, and that's the water tower.
Right.
That pumped, believe it or not, where the reservoir was in Hyde Park Street, South End, because where you have that particular water tower, the reservoir, they were like facing each other, one in Everton and one in South End, Toxteth, but they were both on the hill, and the water tower over at the there in Everton and over in Turkey at the reservoir, and there was only a building, the reservoir, so everything that was flushed into the city, that was the main engineering thing that got all the works going to pump all the water from the one in Toxteth. This thing, it's still there today.
That is absolutely
Sorry?
fantastic. That's an absolutely fantastic feat of engineering, isn't it?
It's fantastic, yeah. And the fellow who did it, believe it or not, was a fellow named Thomas Duncan, who was a relative of Dr. Duncan.
Oh,
You know, when he became the first medical officer of health in 1846. And he knew that he was an engineer. He said, can you do something? Because what we need, and he got another fella in named Newland Duncan, and he said, I need you to look at the sewage system. And he went down and seen the sewage system, and he said, it's rectangle, it's square. He said, can you do something about it? And he said, yeah, this Newland fella. And what he did, where like it was like this, he got bricklayers down to build around, you know, inside the square. He to build around like that, build around with these bricks, but on a slant. You see what I mean?
yes.
So that any deposits were here, and the water coming through is wash away the deposits. Because, as I said, the deposits were just left there like that. They couldn't be moved. Water couldn't move them because they were just there. It was square. So we rounded them off with bricks, with bricklayers. And that was a great engineering feat as well.
Absolutely, yes.
And it was only to give Liverpool some sort of hygiene, because Liverpool in the 1820s, 30s, 40s, 50s were suffering from terrible typhoid, dysentery, and well, everything that you could think of. They were suffering from cholera, everything. And this is why the poor people were all left in one area. They weren't allowed to move. They were not allowed to move. So this is the Everton area here. That's your Scotland Road right there.
Yeah.
There's the Everton crest there, look. That's the lockup. It's incredible what they did. And people think, like, about St. Anthony's Church. Was that St. Anthony's Church? No. Was that St. Anthony's Church? No. Because St. Anthony's Church was a flat roof. They weren't allowed to build any steeples or anything. They had to remain inconspicuous, Catholic churches. And it wasn't until the 1830, when the Catholics were emancipated, that they could build a steeple on the churches if they wanted. And St Anthony's in Scotland Road today has still got a pitched roof. They said, no, we'll just keep it the way it is. But anyway, all around this area here, all around, was terrible, terrible poverty. And as you can see, look at these here. You know, these are courts, what you call courts, which I'll show in a moment or two. And they were all confined to these places, all confined. I'll show you them now.
Well, that's a devastating thought before they built the water pumps, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Well, you'll see what each court, say, look, there's the violence. There's the violence there. Yeah, look. They had a gang called the High Rip Gang, Scotland Road. And there's a little thing here in the Liverpool Echo or something like that. And it says, penal servitude for the gang, for the High Rip Gang. At the Liverpool Assizes today, 6 roughs, members of the High Rip Gang, were convicted of street robbery with violence. 4 of them have been convicted yesterday of burglary at a house of the Chief Detective Superintendent. The judge said the prisoners were members of a dangerous gang who loafed about the streets assaulting and robbing. Only one of them had not been convicted before. He must go to gaol for the 18 months hard labour, but the others to 5 years penal servitude. That's how harsh it was in those days. That's how harsh it was.
Yeah.
But it's so different today. The High Rip Gang, as I said, they came from the Scotland Road area, the Everton area. And they terrified people. They weren't very nice people. You know, this gang. They weren't very nice at all. But you had different gangs all around the city. But the other notorious gang was known as the Peanut Gang. And they came from Park Road. So you had the Scotland Road Gang, the High Rip Gang, and also you had the Peanut Gang from Park Road. And they were always talking about each other, you know, in the pubs and whatever. Until one day they said, okay, let's have a off. Let's see who's the hard knocks, shall we say. Let's see who's the hardest. So they had it off. And the Scotland Road High Rip Gang won the fight. So they became the most powerful, shall we say, of street gangs. But it didn't wane them from, you know, using violence or anything on their own communities. People lived in terror. Scotland Road and up in Park Road, they lived in terror. The ordinary people, ordinary workers, you know, people going out who's got a family to earn, you know, the wages to keep the family going and keep the, you know, himself going as well. And they used to get robbed of the wages. That's what they did. Used to waylay you.
So they were the 2 main gangs, but there were all sorts of other people. And that was the way they lived, wasn't it? It's kind of like now, when people have got nothing, there's always someone there to steal off them.
There was one lad, there was three lads inside Barn Street, and they were just standing against the wall, and there was two lads and a girl walking through. They were just going on a night out, and the three lads said, have you got any, approached them, said, have you got any money? This is the IRIP gang. And they said, well, I'm taking my girlfriend out and I've only got enough. And they said, well, give us your money. And the lad said, no, I can't do that. Give us your money. Anyway, they ended up killing him.
Jeez.
For the money. They got collared. And they were hanged. Went to trial, obviously. And they paid the ultimate price, the ultimate consequence of being hanged at Walton Jail. That was around 1910. Owen Lee, evening Frank and Anthony and chat. I hope you're well. Thank you, Owen, for joining us.
Good evening.
And Barry says, enough now, Snapey. You're back. Oh, blimey. And Paulie's back. Back again, all fresh, just in time to wear the Daily Post article being bigots. And Barry says, Frank, immigrants, whether they be Italian, Irish or whoever, was there any concerns about quantity in those days? And being honest with you, that's a good show, because it wasn't so much the quantity. See, these people who were coming into Liverpool, they wanted to get to America. They were coming from different parts of Europe. Even the Chinese in the 1820s, they came to Liverpool to get to America. The Italians, they came to Liverpool to get to the Irish. Everyone wanted to get to America. And they found themselves in Liverpool. Some finally got to America, but others, they just stayed and worked. It's just like, well, I'm going back to the 80s, whereas 80% of people of Liverpool has 80 in the 80s, 80% Irish blood.
Yeah.
And that was in the 1980s.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is today.
No.
The other 10% was Italian. And the rest, the other 10% of every other national.
Yeah.
Typical journalist, even in 1886, showing the bigotry and hatred and snobbery, says the Polo.
Yeah. Right, Polo. Totally agree with you.
I think he asked about windmills. You want to see the maps I've got? I can't show them, unfortunately, because they're big, they're massive. Let's see. 1 minute. 1 minute, Anthony. See, I know you can hear me. I've got big maps, and I mean big maps. I'll just show you something. I'll take this off. I'll take this off a minute. No, I won't. I'll remove that. Can I remove you a minute, Anthony?
Of course you can, Frank.
Right. And these, look, you're the size of that. They're maps that I have, and it still hasn't got to the end of it, has it? There you go. The end. It's I used to show exhibitions with my maps, and it was very, very hard. I can't even get them out anymore because they're all folded up. I'll see if I can get one out, and I'll show you what kind of maps I had. I'll show you what kinds I had. Oh, can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. It's unfortunate, really, because I don't know how to get them out. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, they are. Hang on. I used to have an exhibition with. God, blimey, I haven't had them out for years. So you can tell. You can tell. Jesus Christ. I've got no strength, you know. No strength whatsoever there. Friggin' hell. Things I do, actually. The things that I do, mate. Let's show you this map. One of them. And I think it's a great map, actually. I really do. It's one of my faves. One of my fucking... It's one of my favourite maps. I got the right one. Sorry about this, people. Really am. But here's my map. And it's great. Oh no, you're talking about windmills, aren't you? And you've got loads on here. It's a cracking map. Well, it's very... I can't see it, unfortunately, because of the... But you do have... Yeah, I can't show it, really. And that's the unfortunate thing. Where that is there, that little bit of green thing there, right, as you look at it to your left, that's St. James's Cemetery. It's hard to see, unfortunately. It really is, and this is all over the place with me. It's a shame. But it's my favourite map. It shows you so much detail. And I mean so much detail in everything. But I will get one more. Let me see, just bear with me. This is one of the best as well. And this one is my favourite one of all. I'm going to show you. You'll be able to see something on here, by the way. You know, no, there's no laminate on this. On this map, it's the best of all. It's huge. It's huge. And as you can see there, St. George's Hall, Lime Street Station, everything. Everything. But I want to show you something if I can get it. And I think it's brilliant. Just bear with me on this. Just bear with me. And it's one of the first where it shows the custom house. I know there's loads of noise there. I'm not going to be able to see it. I know you won't. Oh, come on. I can't get it. I'm really sorry. I can't get it. I can't get the custom out for you. And it's brilliant. See if I can point it out. There it is. Let's see if I can get it. There's the custom house there, see? That's the custom house there. We decided to pull that. That is so huge. That custom house. That we pulled it down in 1948. It was well bigger than St. George's Hall. It would have been the biggest building in Liverpool today. The biggest classical, neoclassical building today in Liverpool. But we decided to pull it down. They said that it was a load of bollocks, actually, simply because it was corruption. It was corruption that got rid of it, because the Americans liked that particular building, and they decided to. I'll bring Anthony back. They decided to pull it down. He said, yeah, we'll pull it down. The Americans want to buy it. And that was the corruption. They could have saved it. The custom house.
Yeah.
Built in 1828. Well, it opened its doors in 1828. And it was a magnificent building.
Okay.
By John Foster Jr. Go on, Anthony.
It goes back to that quote that you sent Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
The
value of nothing.
And the value of nothing.
They don't know they know everything, but they don't know the value of nothing. God blimey, I was wrestling there, wasn't I?
Yeah, I thought we were going to sail off.
I used to have great exhibitions. You know, the people were made up, you know, with the maps, because they're big.
Yeah.
Huge. And it's a shame that I couldn't really fulfill what I'd love to have shown, to be honest. You know, look at this one here. The waterfront coming into Liverpool, and even there, the things of Birkenhead, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I can't see what you're looking at.
The artistry that's involved in doing those maps.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I used to when I gave a talk, at, for example, I gave a talk at the Anglican Cathedral, and I was in the well.
Yeah.
And I said, "Can I put up an exhibition?" And he went, "Yeah, yeah." So I, got the board, put up the exhibition. The people were more interested in looking, at these particular things. They couldn't get over them.
Do you know
And I
what?
gave another talk actually in St George's Church in Everton.
Yeah.
Because this fella named Bob, he's a lovely fella. He got my phone number or so on, and I went and met him. And he said, "Would you be willing?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I went to St George's Church. It was absolutely shocking. And I put the exhibition up there. St George's in Everton. But that's, I did do a few exhibitions, by the way.
Yeah. It's that mix between your passion for history and the maps themselves feel like you're touching history.
Yeah.
You know, it's not modern, not slideshows, it's not colours burned up. It's that sense of tradition.
But we've got lots of tradition in this city.
Yeah.
We really have, Anthony. Yeah, let's see what the lads have been saying. Christopher. Hi, Frank and Anthony. And everyone, like and subscribe.
Good evening. Thank you.
Oh, he says. There's a little Laurie. Hi, Frankie and Anthony.
Oh, good evening, Lauren.
And chat. And Paulo says, Frank, are there, yeah, I've got loads of them on here. Oh, do you know what? I bet you Jason's gone. Jason, he says, we have the colour version of the Brewer and Wiley map. I can get it up. But yeah, please. Please, I'm struggling there. Forgot all about that.
Yeah.
I thought Jason had gone, you see. But I bet he's gone out. And he said, I won't be back until I think he goes and picks a little Ayla up,
Yeah.
But he has to. It's his bloody daughter, the way it is today.
Dad's duties,
Yeah. So stick around, people. We will get it up. We really will.
And break.
I know when Lee says, I drove past the windmill in Crosby today. Surprising. Yeah, look. I'll do it during the break, so we'll have a break now. If you don't mind, we'll have a break.
No, get a cup of tea.
This is a street called Hope. It links two great cathedrals, the Anglican and the Metropolitan Cathedral of Christ the King. And these two fine-looking gentlemen are Archbishop Derek Warlock and the Reverend David Shepherd. You can bring these two buildings together with a street, but how do you bring people together? Well, these two Liverpool heroes did, and this is where we remember them. Of course, great structures can make up a city, but the real heartbeat lies within the people. And like any city throughout its history, there have been unassuming heroes and some terrible villains. The Albert Dock, full of tourists, full of children playing, being educated by the school trips. going back to the 19th century, it was a very, very dangerous place to be, and it involved kids as well. Why would children pose such a threat in the 19th century? Charles Dickens, who we mentioned before, stood right here as a special constable observing criminals at work. The criminals under his observation were young boys known as the 40 Thieves. This is how the 40 Thieves did it. They surrounded their hapless victims and they moved in very quickly, taking everything away from them. The victims in some cases were left destitute and ended up in the workhouses. This child gang were like piranha as they homed in on easy prey. But who were the easy prey? They were migrants waiting here on the quayside. Ironically, from the hope of a better life in the New World, America in particular, to the hardship of workhouses that Dickens himself so deplored. The child gang of the 40 Thieves became the catalyst for Fagin's gang and Oliver Twist. It's hard to imagine that such young boys could ruin the lives of people trying to make a better life for themselves. Isn't it funny the way things turn round? You'd never come here because it was too dangerous. But look at it now. The child gang of the 40 Thieves, therefore, were the ruination of so many people's lives. That's why they're on the list of Liverpool villains. From the 40 Thieves to two pioneering heroes, father and son, James and Wyndham Sadler. They sound like actors, don't they, with the names like that? But they weren't, let me tell you. It was right here that an amazing feat had taken place in April 1817. This is the new Chavash Park. And way back in 1784, James Sadler became the very first British aeronaut to ascend in a balloon. There was one thing that James Sadler wanted to do, and try as he might, he could never do it, and that was cross an expanse of water, because other balloonists, no matter where they came from, wouldn't dare try to cross an expanse of water. James Sadler tried and tried and tried. However, he always failed to cross from Liverpool to Dublin. And getting on in years, he eventually gave up his quest. And his son, Wyndham Sadler, promised his dad. He said, "Dad, I'll do it for you. And I'll do it, and I'll do it now." Wyndham took his dad's flowcharts and he studied them intensely. And instead of crossing from Liverpool to Dublin and failing, Wyndham decided to cross from Dublin to Liverpool. In April 1817, Wyndham Sadler ascended from Dublin in his balloon and successfully crossing the Irish Sea. From his great pioneering feat of 1817 to a disaster in 1823 when Wyndham Sadler's balloon crashed on the moors near Blackburn, and he's buried in Christ Church Cemetery here in Liverpool. He is one of the true Liverpool heroes.
How about that?
Fantastic.
Wyndham Sadler, eh? You know, these were great pioneers at the time.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that they're not recognised.
No.
They're not recognised. Even the likes of Atkins, who, had the very first zoological gardens in the world, 1831, up in Shield Road, Shield Park. That was the zoo. That's why they built. Do you ever remember the what was it called? The Hengless Circus, the pub.
Yeah, I do.
That's why they had That's what it was called, the Hengless Circus. They had something there. Then they made it. They made it into a pub.
Yeah.
Incredible. Oh, Tony Mac. Are you mate? Have you seen that? I'll let you answer that.
Good evening to you both. Can I commission Anthony to create a canvas of you, Frank? Well, you are ahead. You were in there.
Yeah, it was already. Isn't that beautiful, though?
Thank you.
Beautiful from him.
Yeah. Frank and I had met about 420 years ago, and that's when, he was done. Yeah, but there's none worthier.
Yeah, remember these people, these racists. Did you see this fella here with the E? Horrible. Bigots.
Yeah.
Bigots. Right.
Tonight as well?
What did you say?
You've got them up tonight as well?
Yeah, just well, I think obviously Jason, he's been busy, and Johanna's been blocking them. Why did he do it? Why did he do it? And Paulie says, thanks for the effort you're putting into the evening. I'm fucking exhausted just watching you with those life-size maps. You know this man here, Tony? Now, he used to run a pub. Now, if he was still running the pub, I'd have said to Tony, can I put up an exhibition in your pub, in the parlour somewhere?
And he's done.
He would have just said, yeah, do it, Frank.
In Garston.
Sorry?
In Garston, wasn't it, Tony? Yeah.
And he would have just said, yeah, go for it, Frank. And he would have been able to have gone along and seen the exhibition of all the maps. Sue Story. Even in Frank, I assume. And Jason says it's a shame Nutbuster never sticks around long enough to get an education. Well, yeah, he's the racist, that. I think he doesn't just do it to mine, he does it to everybody, I think. But our lads are there to block him.
Yeah.
I just hate it, I really hate it. Really hate it. More fantastic, says Barry. Historical information from my 5, Frank. Brilliant. Thank you. And love those films of Liverpool. I'm going to show you something now, which is, I think it's brilliant. Yeah, there's a good one there. Frank, when was the first A to Z map or ordnance survey of Liverpool? Do you have one? Yeah, I've got it here. It's somewhere. But I only got a small version, Polo. But I think what we've been showing as well, like the previous one where it was showing the Everton area and the Scotland Road area and the IRIP gang where they came from. That's a great ordnance survey. And as I said, I've got it here. And the map I showed you before, you know, the black and white one, this one here.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant. I'll just take this off a moment. Oh, it's this one here. It's this one here. It's this one. It's this one. And this is what I was trying to show you before, Polo. When was it published, right? It was published around. I know that wasn't there then. It was published just after 1815 when what's his name? When Nelson's monument was erected and exchanged flags, 1813, and it was just after that. I think it was around 1820. But when you look at this Polo and everyone else, I think it's absolutely sublime, this particular map here. Because what you've got there is the custom house. The custom house. And here, right there, it's dark, isn't it, unfortunately? But here is the sailor's home. So you see how close the sailor's home and the custom house
would have been
together. But the point is, there's no more sailor's home. There's no more custom house. And both of them were pulled down in the 20th century. The custom house was pulled down, as I mentioned, in 1848. Could have easily have been saved because it was huge. Huge. And as I said, it would have been the biggest neoclassical building in Liverpool today. And the sailor's home, that should never have been pulled down either. And that came down in 1974. These were all these demolition people. Let's see if I can get something which sickens me, actually. It sickens me. Where are we? Like there's St. George's Hall there. This is unbelievable, that isn't it? Unbelievable. I'm going to show you something if it's on this map. There it is. I hope you can see that. That's a sort of a wall.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah.
Right around. Sort of a wall. Now, when you look here, you've got the municipal building, yeah?
Yeah.
Beautiful building. You've got the town hall, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got these other magnificent buildings that also came down. And these two here. St. George's Church. There. St. Peter's Church. You've got the fantastic Compton Hotel, which was, you know, at a later date, Marks and Spencer's, which is gone now as well. So you had this, you had Lime Street Station, you had Central Station here, you had everything. This is the elitist area. The elitist area. Yeah, St. Peter's. And this wonderful thing here, that was St. George's Church. But look at this here. Look at that there. And that was to hide. That was to hide poverty. Because when the Americans, used to visit and getting off ships, they used to walk up from here down Church Street, that's Church Street, along Lord Street, up to and including where the Adelphi Hotel was, where Dickens used to stay. And that's the original there, Adelphi Hotel. That's the original Adelphi Hotel. And Dickens actually called it the finest hotel in the world. He loved it. And all as he did, a carriage used to come for him. Imagine this, here, and take him over to St. George's Hall for his talks.
Wow. I heard or I read once that wherever he was in the north of England, if he was in Manchester or even towards Yorkshire, he would always request that someone take him back to the Adelphi to stay. He'd go and do his spot and then come back.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got to put this message out. And it's Jason. If anyone is interested, we could do with a few more moderators to keep this racist prick out of our chat. So just put us up, if you would become, please, a moderator, because I'm not only getting them on other streams as well, and I know that some of you are there, go on all the streams, that I do. So it'll be great to get rid of these horrible people.
Yes.
We don't need it. We don't need it. And the polo says, a wall to hide poverty. Unbelievable. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. See, what I've just shown you, this is the point. What I've just shown you, look, you've got Lime Street Station. Lime Street Station had the biggest glass roof in the world at the time. And it was the first railway station. What you see today, with all the wonderful Roman arches, all the wonderful Roman arches. You had the, do you ever remember me showing you let's see if I've got it here, the Greek colonnade. Let's see if we've got it. If I've got it, I'll just show you it. No props. Along Lime Street. Along Lime. No, I haven't got it. Unfortunately. I must have took it out the folders somewhere. I haven't got it. But it's a Greek colonnade anyway, along Lime Street. And they pulled that down too, which is a shame, because what we had, I'm going to show people this. And I was selling Francine. Because we were talking about Venice,
Yeah.
And she said, Dad, can we get to Venice from Lido di Jesolo? I said, yes, it's not far. I said, it's not far. I said, we'll go. And I was talking about the Campanile. And I said, did you know that, Herbert J. Rouse have spoken about Anthony?
Yes.
One of our greatest of all.
Yeah. Art Deco architect.
Art Deco architects, indeed. I just want to show you something. Right. I'm going to blank something out, first and foremost. So let me blank this out. Well, I'll show you. Well, I'll show you this. Right, the Campanile's in Piazza San Marco. Fuck's sake. I can't fucking do that. Do you know what? I'm getting frustrated. Let's see if this is any better. I don't think it will. But I just want to show you something. I'll have to take it off again, Anthony. I'm awfully sorry, mate.
That's all right, Frank. That's great.
It's not great. It's terrible. Right. There's the Campanile. Oh, for fuck's sake. There's the Campanile in Piazza San Marco. There. Now look at it. Look at the green roof. Look at the little Venetian windows at the top. I'll show you something here. I was telling our Francie, I said, I've got a picture of it. This is on the phone to her. And she said, will you show me it, Dad? And I went, yeah. When he comes down, he's coming down tomorrow. Because Herbert J. Rouse actually built on a small scale the Campanile. There's the Campanile, and there's our one there. And what you can see are the very same windows as the top of it, and the green roof. See it, how it's the same brick, everything. And do you know where that is? I wonder if any of our people, I think Mary Morgan, I think she's been around with me. Are you all tuned in? Because she's been around and she's seen it, she can remember. Do you know where our Campanile is, Anthony? What he built?
Is it off Church Street?
Yeah, it's in Lord Street. It's in Lord Street.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Wow.
I want to show people it, because they have been to Venice and they have been in San Marco Piazza and seen the Campanile, the big tall bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't look in our hometowns, do we? We don't look up at buildings. We look at ones for you and a cafe and whatever.
Aaron Polo says, when Lime Street Station was built, how far out, where did the track end? I've got it somewhere, Polo. And I'm awfully sorry, I can't put my hand on it at the moment. I'm strewn it. You know the picture, I have shown it before. They wanted to make Lime Street a little bit wider, so they pulled it down. And I bet you'll find it later. I bet you any money I'll find it. I must have pulled it out of, let's see, because it's well worth showing, right? It's well worth showing the thing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, the fucking things I do. Oh, Jesus. It's not that, it's because I'd like to show the people everything. Have I got it? No, pussy, that's it there now. Told you, let's see if it's here. Yeah, got it, look at that. Aren't I great?
Well, great.
Aren't I great? I knew he had it. I'll show you. This is Polo's fault. He's asking all these questions. I've got to show.
Mhm.
But it's not on that map what we've just shown. There it is.
Oh,
There it is.
how
That
beautiful.
went along, Anthony. Say like here. No, hang on. Here. Oh, for fuck's sake. The coordinations. Terrible. Say like here's the Empire.
Yeah,
So you're walking along Limey, right? You're walking along to the station, which is there, where my fingers are there.
yeah.
Right? So Lime Street Station's there. And that went right along to the Empire. And he pulled it down.
Would have been beautiful to look at.
Just imagine that along Lime Street, Andy.
I can, yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what else they pulled down as well. And I'm not just saying it, just going through that.
Thanks, Jay.
What? What? Oh, there, look at him. Look. See? He's great. Do you know what? Don't tell him it's not Monday, you know, Anthony. He thinks it's Monday.
Well, I could do with a beat Monday. I don't mind. It's, you know.
So look at that. What do you think of that?
I think that's stunning.
Isn't it just? But isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
And when I was showing the Campanile, you know, in Lord Street, Polo says, now it's a Vodafone shop.
I know. See, that's what we. Yeah.
Now, how many people who work in the Vodafone shop, you know, think if they've ever been to Venice, have they ever thought and looked up and gone, wow, that doesn't half look like the Campanile? No.
Not many. Because we don't. We're not educated to do that.
No. Unfortunately. But there's something else they knocked down, and I'll never forgive them for this. I won't show you what I'm going to say now. But do you ever remember when I said about the cotton exchange?
Yes.
And they pulled it down.
Yes.
Remember? We're saying, look at that big white building.
Yeah.
Well, they pulled the facade down, which was stunning.
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing they pulled down, which was stunning also.
Exchange flags.
Exchange flags. Look at that. Look at that. And all you've got there today is two white buildings. You can't make these things up, can you? Anthony?
No.
You just cannot make these things up. And there's the map there. Isn't it brilliant?
It is brilliant.
And that was just to hide, because well, you've got all the neoclassicals all around. You've got the fantastic. Look at St. George's Church there. And people often say, well, why wasn't the front of it, which is this, going into the gardens? Well, there was no such thing as a gardens because there was a church there. And it was also a cemetery. And there are still 2,000 internees of French prisoners of war from the Napoleonic Wars there, buried there. But look how close Lime Street is there, Anthony. And here, Central.
Yes.
And the Adelphi Hotel.
Yeah.
Because Dickens, as you know, he hated trains, called them monsters, steaming monsters, because he was in an accident on one. It wasn't a serious thing, you know what I mean? I think one of the carriages come off the line, and he said that's dangerous. But as you can see, you've got two stations, and right in the middle of it, you've got Central, Limey, and in the middle of it, you've got the Adelphi Hotel.
Wow.
The original Adelphi Hotel. You can see the buildings that we had, can't you?
Oh gosh, yeah. It's beautiful.
And as I said, when you see that there, that's incredible. The Custom House.
Yes.
This is Bold Street.
Wow.
Bold Street. Because
Sure.
this St. Nick's Church there.
Yeah.
Bold Street. And look at these banks here. Look at the bank at the top. Still there, though. That's a Tesco, I think. All banks here. But you see these here? They're townhouses. Because all exclusive, it was very exclusive, and that's where they all lived.
Chartered streets.
Yeah.
We not wonder.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I wander through each chartered street now where the chartered Thames does flow. In every face of man I meet, marks of weakness, marks of woe. Because vagrancy was a big thing then. You just went to jail, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you and I had stopped there to wait for Jason, who's in the pie shop getting a couple of pies,
We'd be in jail.
we're gone, aren't we?
Along with Polo.
Wow.
Me, you and Polo and Jason will be in jail.
All
Bold
bang
Street was a wealthy area. You wouldn't go.
vagrants.
Frank, who was the brains behind the air conditioning in St. George's? It was a Scottish man, believe it or not. And I forgot his name. He came down and he said, I can put this in for you. Oh, what was his name? Forgot his name, unfortunately, Owen. It's just gone from my mind. And anyway, he came down and he said, I'll put it in. And that's what he did. He put an air conditioning. And I'm glad you asked that, because the air conditioning system in St. George's Hall was the very first air conditioning system ever made in the world. In the whole of the world. Incredible, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, what was it? It begins with an S. Oh, sorry about that. I forget his bloody name. I wanted to show something on here. I can't find it. That they gladly knock down, as you know. They usually do. No, can't find it. Can't find it, people. Let's see if I. The fella who actually done this, though, he was a Frenchman.
He was
Because-
Sonny.
Sorry?
He was the balloonist.
Yeah, they commissioned someone, and he went up in a balloon, and that's what he did. Isn't it brilliant?
Absolutely amazing.
Love it. Love it. It's one of my faves, actually. And I've got the black and white version. While Jason, the posh fella, that we'd all be nicked if we went down Bowl Street.
Yeah.
Waiting for him, for vagrancy.
Yeah.
I forget I'm trying to think of his name, Owen. The air conditioner fella, but he was Scottish nevertheless when he came down. Yeah, look at them. Look at the boys there, look. Getting beat up by the police.
That's gotta be bad. Oh, that's three of us, four of us. Get a good wallop.
But look, do you know when I've said about propaganda?
Yes.
And it's been going on for donkeys, hundreds of years, not just now. Have you noticed the propaganda in that picture, what they put up? What do you think it is?
Well, it's raising the power of the police, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's stating that, you cause trouble, not the full wrath of...
Now, what it is, they're in a police station, right? And they've got knives, wanting to stab them. So that's a story for, the people. Oh, they're awful, them lads. They try to stab the police. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Two policemen, two lads with two knives. And what that is definitely, what you call it, propaganda. It's really to tell the police that they can use violence when they apprehend somebody. Because they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
You read police reports today.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You're right, absolutely right. Imagine what a wallop we would have got eating them pies on Bow Street. Jeez. Doesn't bear thinking about.
There they are. There's the IRIP gang. These about the savage crowd who chased them and cheered them on. These about the murderers' flight from justice. That would have been I looked at Barn Street. See, I didn't know that. See, the true story behind the infamous Tyburn Street outrage in Liverpool. And there's the lad dead. And there's the culprits there, three of them. And that girl.
Just
shows you, doesn't it?
We're never far away from it, are we?
No, never. And look at them, there's they are getting hanged. See with the hoods and the rope around the neck, see? That was justice in the days. There they are, look, the trapdoor open and there they are hanging. Gruesome that though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Really, really gruesome.
But it's back to what you said, isn't it? kind of not propaganda, but it's there's no other way to to offer a deterrent to anyone else thinking of doing the same thing.
Yes.
It's like hang 'em and wait for the crows.
Yeah. Well, you see this goal here, this jail rather, sorry. This jail here, Kirkdale. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Kirkdale jail, they used to do public hangings right there. There's a school called St. John's there, right? And there's a bell, to call the kids in, playing out, playtime
yeah.
and dinner time. And that was the death knell bell from the jail.
Wow.
Ding, ding, as the prisoner or prisoners were being led out to be hanged publicly.
Wow.
And they stopped public hangings. You know why? There was a fella there, I forget his name. It's just like the bloody fella who designed the St. George's Hall. I forget his name.
The air conditioning guy.
Yeah, but I forget his name. But anyway, I forget this fella's name who was hanged. And what had happened was he went up to be hanged. The hangman named Crowcroft, he only done a short drop. A short drop. So when the lad dropped, this murderer, he landed. He always pleaded his innocence, by the way. This fella. What was his name? Anyway, he dropped. But he hit the ground and crumpled over. And they were all, it was too long, I'm sorry, the rope to drop.
Yes.
So anyway, they ran over and there was a priest and a vicar with him. And they helped him up. And I shouldn't laugh. And when they took the hood off him, obviously, do you know where he thought he was? When he seen the priest and the vicar?
Hell, heaven.
Not hell. The priest and the vicar, and then till they go to hell, God blimey. One guess you're at, and you says hell. But he thought he was in heaven. He said, am I in heaven? And he said, no, lads, I'm sorry about that. So they brought him up and they hanged him again.
Oh my God.
And it never worked. Because you know why it wouldn't work? It didn't work when they hanged him again. The trap door wouldn't open.
Wow.
And they were trying to press it and everything. Could you imagine him standing there tied with a big rope around his neck? Tied, bound and tight, and the trap door not going. Could you imagine the psychology there going through his mind?
No.
So the priest and the vicar was saying, he must be innocent. He's always pleaded his innocence. And he was really, anyway, they took the rope off him again. And they tested the door, the trap door, and it's opened. So they put the rope around his neck again and put him on.
Oh my.
And what he did a short drop. A short drop, a short rope.
Yeah.
And the door wouldn't open again. The trap door. Yeah. So they banged and banged and banged on it. Underneath, the police or whoever it was, the warders, they were banging it. And it finally dropped. it finally opens and he dropped. And do you know what happened to him? He hanged. But do you know what happened? His head was decapitated because of the short drop and the weight. His head came off and rolled into the crowd.
Wouldn't you have thought that someone had said after the first one, "Oh,
Yeah.
come on, lad, just don't do it again"?
Yeah.
Never. Wow.
So what do you think of that?
Horrific.
It's horrible. And Owen says, another Scot, there must be something in the water. The amount of inventors that came from Scotland from the start of the Industrial Revolution for such a small population, is it? Yeah, absolutely. That's a good shout, that, Owen. Very good shout. I'm sorry, Owen, I forget his name. I will get his name, though. I will, honestly. I'll get his name for you at some point and tell you that you know. And Polo says, about those things, government propaganda. You wouldn't cocoa. It justified the police violence against men and women. There you go. It's the public ending, look. Curtailed jail. And Owen says peer points wouldn't have happened if I was there. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Did you know peer points, Anthony, and Shatters hanged more people after the Nuremberg trials? Do you know when they were sentenced to death?
Yes.
He hanged most of them.
Yeah. Yeah, the Home Office flew him over there, didn't he? And he spent months there.
That's him. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, David Boswell Reed. There you go. There you go, Owen, lad. That's your inventor of the air conditioning system. Boswell Reed. Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much, mate.
Yeah.
Yep, peer points, he hanged more people. More, who were sentenced to death in the Nuremberg trials.
Yeah. A fascinating figure in history, Albert Pierpoint. I remember as a young guy, I used to read about him. There used to be magazine articles and stuff, and then the book biography came out. But his father and his uncle were in the trade as well.
That's a terrible thing to say.
But both of them
in the trade.
In the trade. What are you? I'm a hangman.
Oh,
jeez, that's a time. I've really got to get off.
What trade are you in? Oh, my hangman. Oh, go away. That's a nice trade to have, isn't it? Anthony, look at that thing there. Do you know what that is? Me and you. These have to hang us, mate. That's the treadmill. You'd have to be on that for 18 hours a day without stop.
Oh, my God.
You got a 10-minute stop, I think, after every 4 hours for water and on again.
Jeez.
I can't get over you saying trade. crazy, isn't it? Christ, he must have fun. Brilliant, thank you, says Owen. Didn't he train his lads up? I think he did, actually. See, the likes of architects and engineers and whatever, they did their own training. It's like architecture, for example. Just give you the architecture. There was no architectural schools until 1801 in Abercrombie Square, when they opened up an architectural, study, a school for architects. Because there was none, and it was father and son. You had, as I mentioned there before, I think I did, John Foster Sr. and John Foster Jr. John Foster Sr. was a great Liverpool architect who did some fantastic buildings, and his son, who designed, believe it or not, the two churches. One St. Luke's, the bombed out church, as we all know, and the other one was along Rodney Street, St. Andrews. And they were derelict at one time. Well, that St. Andrews was. Incredible, isn't it? And that when that school opened, the likes of one of our great architects, who was Sir Alfred's Waterhouse, he studied there. And also, one of my favourite, my favourite Art Deco architect, Herbert J. Rouse, studied there too. Isn't that brilliant? And Owen said, I never knew there was a proper treadmill. First time I've ever seen a picture of one. Brilliant again. Yeah, I'll have to look then. There you go. The treadmill, and you couldn't get off.
Yeah, keep you fit or kill you.
Tell you what, it was, here we fucking go again, this fucking prick. Gone, look at that. See, they were coming out. These, I mightn't do any more of this. I might just record it. I'm not having this. This upsets me. How many's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 coming on. So upsetting. So upsetting. I just need moderators to get them off, because I know Johan, and only for Jason, being with us tonight, Johan will be, well, see, Johan can't enjoy the history because he's fucking looking out for these, and I don't like that. Do you know what I'll do, me and you, Anthony?
Yeah.
I think we'll just record one, one morning or afternoon, and put us out on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they would, mind you, they'd still fucking do it, wouldn't they? I don't understand YouTube, I fucking don't. It's so upsetting.
Whatever you and Jace want to do, Frank, you know that always.
I know that, mate.
I don't, from my vantage point, I don't get to see them till they hit the screen. So.
But you know what? It'd be unfair if he did that. Recorded it. And I mean, if we recorded it and threw it out, I'm not saying like now, you know what I mean? Recording it live, if you just recorded it. But you'd still have them coming on. But we won't be able to, read out any comments from these lovely people.
The only way that we possibly do it is, and it's long-winded, but say there's a steady audience of 12 or so on who comment, then send them a link to the show.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
know. Jason knows than me, you know.
My hands was in here before. I don't know where to put it. To take me tablet.
Oh,
I just don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Put it in my bookcase.
there you go.
Anthony, I've got the tiniest tablets.
I know. Be
in the
careful,
world.
because I forever lose them.
Oh, they always pop out and I'm everywhere looking for them. I can't find them. Run out of them then. Oh, the jewel of Japan. He says, just ignore them, bro. Continue to talk. Make sure that it's gone.
Yeah.
The worst ones, when you're in bed and you say, oh, fuck. And it pops out and it just goes, you look at it.
My thing is getting out of the tinfoil. You get out of the tinfoil.
Because you've got to press them, haven't you? Just pop out. That's a good idea, Anthony, about a link.
Yeah, I don't know how feasible it is, Polly, because I'm a backseat driver with this. Our Jason is the guy. There we go. Yeah.
It's the same person. I have a case open and they have asked me to keep submitting the profiles as they happen. I've submitted screenshots of the first few times and it's considered a hate crime. So let them keep doing it. Good. And I hope they're fucking listening as well.
Yeah.
I hate that. Doesn't half upset me, Anthony.
Yeah. No, I know.
Look at our mate in hospital.
Yeah.
Great singer.
Yeah.
Job. But, a gentle human being.
Yeah.
And he was in the chance, wasn't he?
He was. He was Mr. Chant.
He was Mr. Chant.
Is or forever will be,
And that's what I think of. Gentle people like him. And they're coming out with all this racism. Just the one word. Coming down like that. And hate at the bottom. Another good idea of jewel of Japan. Ignore the lead. Yes, Paulie. Exactly, mate. But as I do it, it really upsets me. And Barry says, do you want you do what you want to do, Frank, but try not to let them beat you or get you down. I understand that. I understand that. Oh, And you know what I wanted to do tonight, Tony, besides this? But I got carried away with me maps. I got carried away with me maps. I want to, again, another thing. I wanted to do, the literature stuff because it so applies today, Anthony.
Yeah.
So applies today.
Yeah.
And what's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed, actually.
We always dip in, and it's never forgotten. And that's the beauty of historically, whether it be literature or history, people, where we came from, what was there. It's that I see it as that mix of the two all the time.
It's just a mix. And I told Johan, and he was made up. I told Johan what we plan to do. The book, And Jason knows as well.
I love it. I went to bed when we had that chat, and I read it about 4 to 6 times. Woke up the next day feeling like I had read it really, So.
Yeah, but you see, if we do that, which we will, and we got it out there, I think it'll be great for colleges and schools, or schools and colleges.
Yeah,
I really do. Because if they're only say like they're doing the GCSE or whatever, an A level, they'll just concentrate on, say like they're doing something on William Blake and Charles Dickens. They'll just concentrate on those two. Whereas we'll have a list of wonderful people.
Yeah, I'm behind the scenes.
Oh, that's the most important thing, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Okay.
It's like, again, I have to go back to Charles Dickens, and when you surprised me that he was told to write another book because that one wasn't good enough, wasn't selling well. So he thought about that, and he wrote that Christmas Carol, didn't he, within 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
So therefore, he was thinking of the greed.
Yeah, absolutely.
The greed of the publishers. This is what we have to,
let
the people know. And that's why Scrooge came into his head. That was the greed.
Yeah, the money counters, which is
the
more
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And Dickens, of course, had his own family issues going on then. His wife just had the 5th child.
Yep.
When do you need your money? When you're a father, when you got babies in the house.
Yep.
And someone's saying, I don't know, Frank, go away and do a good program. Then
Don't be bothering us with your problems. Go away and do another book. And that's why he did Scrooge. That's why he did Bob Cratchit.
Absolutely.
Totally. So, it's things like that. This is the chat. What we're going to do.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to read the backgrounds of everyone, the likes of William Blake, the likes of John Keats, the likes of Charles Dickens, Charlotte Bronte, Browning, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
H.G. Wells.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of at least 2 installments,
Oh yeah.
On the great, we mentioned Shakespeare, because of course all the people we talk about are heavily influenced by Shakespeare.
Yes.
So then they come along and they have got their own take on life.
Yeah.
And no one's trying to be someone else. They're all independent thinkers, you know. And
Well,
they
you've
all,
only got to look at Shakespeare and, you know, the likes of Machiavelli. Machiavelli, you know, all these bad people, evil people, they were always classed as a Machiavellian archetypal bad person.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, you talk about these people. You talk about the likes of Dante's Inferno.
yes, which is so important because that knocks on throughout history.
It does knock on throughout history. It certainly does. And to get all those together and to condense it into one. But we do come up, we will come out with like paragraphs of what has been said, and you know, like Scrooge, you know, is dead. He's dead as a doornail. You know, you will get a little paragraph of that, and then we can go into certain things, which we will go into certain things about why Scrooge was generated, and it was all because of the greed of his publisher.
Yeah. It would work two ways. It would work as a book. So you've got that source of information. And then it would also work as a not quite a movie, but as a presentation.
Yeah, the presentation of the
There's the voiceover and there's the
and you know, even art. You know, we were talking about propaganda and the classes, and you had Grimshaw, an artist, fantastic artist.
yes,
And Hardy, don't know his first name, he was the top critic of London, as everybody went to London. And he had an art exhibition down there, and he was looking down, and he went, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, yes, look at that. Oh, isn't that wonderful? And then, it's a fella from the north of England, Grimshaw. Oh, certainly not. Oh, I can't be bothered. No one can paint like that with a name like Grimshaw. You've got that as well.
yeah,
You've got Da Vinci.
yeah. Keats.
Oh,
Keats went through the same thing. You know, he can't be a poet. He was born in the backyard of a pub.
exactly. And this is the class society which goes on today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does. It does. It does.
So what do you think, mister?
I've loved it. I have loved tonight. I've loved dipping into the maps, saying that's where it happened, and you hit on an important point there as well, which is just when you think people are at the lowest. So you're living in poverty in an area which is deprived, and then there's a group of people who want to steal the money, any money that you might earn.
Anything. Like the Irip gang. That's why they were hanged.
Yeah.
And then, this is the same class, stealing from the same class.
Yeah.
But you had the higher class who nothing happened to them. And stealing your money legally.
Yeah.
Sometimes illegally, but nothing happened to them. Nothing happened to them, Anthony. And look at Owen Lee. Machiavelli's The Prince is a staple for governments, yes.
Yeah. Downloaded that book the week. That's written by the chap that wrote Leonardo's first biography, Giorgio. Well, yeah, absolutely. Doesn't change, Owen. It's like, like the madness we're going through now. and that Shakespearean quote that we've used of the era.
Just imagine, Owen, I was in Santa Croce Church in Florence, and I went in there, and Machiavelli's tomb, I was actually touched, and Leonardo da Vinci's, and Michelangelo's,
Yeah.
and Dante's.
Yeah.
The tomb.
Yeah.
They must have thought that I was nuts, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because I wanted to rub the tombs.
Giorgio Vasari.
Giorgio Vasari.
He was an artist, sculptor. He didn't achieve the levels of genius that Michelangelo and Leonardo did, but he was around them. Like us, we'd go the hole in the wall. You know, we'd finish our work, we'd go the hole in the wall, and then there'd be a few people there. He was around them greats. And when they went, I've got to write about them. You know, who's going to write about them? I know them. Like you know me, and I know you, and Francine and Lane and stuff. But, you know, who's going to write the truth? And he wrote it.
I think as well, what Sony Max said, can I have commission Anthony to do you as a, you know, me as a 113? And he mustn't have realised that. He must have been looking at Bleach Tape. He must have thought it was Bleach Tape. You know, when he's looking at the portrait.
I know. Well, you must have been in the back of the van when you looked. Don't know. But you know that I would do anything for Tony, for his charitable, wonderful, worthy, charitable. So, Tony, if you're still with us, mate, just drop an email to Jason and the show, and we'll be on it. And if there's something you think I can do, just ask it.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Does you ever meet his beautiful daughter, Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, we won't go into that because she was so beautiful, that girl.
That's beautiful.
And Johan says, Frank, you showed the article about the civilized and uncivilized. They were obviously trying to demonize the immigrants, but only truly uncivilized are amongst us, trolling in chats. There you go. That was the uncivilized trolling. Do you know where he is? Do you know where Johan is?
India? Is he?
He's in the Himalayas. He's by Mount. He can see Mount Everest.
Oh my God. Some people go anywhere to get a signal, won't they? You never know. Oh, you are a legend, Johan. Thank you. If I'd met you years ago, you would have been the 101.
Do you know, he would have been, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
But look at Polo and look at Owen there.
All of them would have been in it. All of them would have been in it. Because the very reason I wanted to put genuine people in is because of them, our chatters.
Yes.
All of them. The girls, Toscana, Bella Italia. Yeah. All of them.
Little Lindsay. Ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Lauren.
Yeah. Jason.
Owen says, bet you Florence has got a little mouse whose nose you can rub Not like our cathedral. There is a mouse actually in the Duomo and every other cathedral throughout the world.
Wow.
Do you know what? I was coming out of the cathedral, right? And there was this woman and a mate and another mate, three of them. And all this, it's almost talk and talk. This is while I was showing the people around the cathedral, you know. And I was saying, where are they? I'd gone for a cup of tea. So anyway, I was showing them the, where the mouse was. And I was showing them anyway, I was showing them everything. And the Whispering Gallery, you know. Anyway, he was coming out and they joined us then as we were going out, and one of them went, and we were approaching the door, you know, the door where you go out, you know, the exit. And she said to me, you never showed us the mouse, where it is. And I went, well, I did. And she said, well, where is it then? And I went, it's up there. And I pointed, you know, at the end of the cathedral where we were going. I said, it's up there. And she went, no, it's not. I said, it is. She said, no, it's not. I know exactly where it is. I said, well, what are you asking me for then? These are the people, you know, they really piss me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I brought a posse of Americans around, you know. Merseyside said, will you take these 11 Americans around? And I said, no. I don't want to. Typical American, Steve. I said, no. They said, look, oh God. So I said, oh, okay then. So I brought them around. And I met them at the, Victoria's monument.
Yeah.
You know, the top of Lord Street. And I was talking to them. And I said, we had a castle here. Showed them the castle, you know. And he went, oh. And this fella, did you ever watch Fawlty Towers?
Yeah.
Right? Do you ever remember the big Texan in it?
Okay.
Okay, Fally, I want a Waldorf salad. Remember him?
Yeah.
This fella was like him. And all through the talk, and you know, on the walk as well, he was blaming me for pulling down the castle. Why did you want to pull down the castle? I said, I didn't pull it down. He said, well, why didn't you come in? Oh, fuck. So we got by the Anglican Cathedral, and do you know by the it used to be Kirklands, I forget what it's called, the Flying the Loaf or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it used to be Kirkland, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
So, you know, like, I look up that street, a little cobbled street from there, you know, looking up and you see the cathedral at the top. That's one of my favourite little views, that. Yeah. Cobbled street, the Anglican, Gothic building, you know.
Absolutely.
Anyway, he was going, you know, and all this. And I just said, take a good look at that. Have you got a camera with you? Yeah, I'm taking a camera, you know, taking photos. He said, why am I doing this, buddy? I said, well, that's coming down next week. I said, and do you know what was great? On Lacey Street, there was a big lorry, you know, with loads of scaffolds and loads of it. I don't know where they were going. It was just parked there. And I said, there, see there? I said, there's about 80 of them things, 80 trucks waiting to come out to put all the scaffolding up for that to come down. And he believed me. He honestly, and even the group believed me as well. I said, because they're going to put a magnificent McDonald's there to overlook the city. big yellow sign. Well, anyway, so I just walked, going and I've said to that to them, and I forgot to tell them that I was only messing. And they got hold of Merseyside and said, "Why are you pulling down this cathedral, the Anglican Gothic Cathedral?" And they said, "It's not coming down. He told you that." He went, "That Carlyle." I got sold off. Genuine, that. Mad, isn't it? Oh, but it's getting on my nerves.
You know what?
Getting on my nerves. And Johan was laughing at you when he, before. And Owen says, "The things I've learned tonight, brilliant show once again. Thank you," says Owen. "No, it's a pleasure, Owen, mate. It really is." And Johan says to Jason, "Anfield Road would be a good addition to the Mad team." He would actually. He'd be watching the match or something. He'd be watching a match, the Anfield. And Jason says, "Cheers, Johan. I'll catch him when he's on." Nobody would, actually. And Paulie says, "Frank, that's uncanny. I thought I was in Texas when you done your email." I'll piss off. So anyway, people, Anthony, can I ring you right away?
Of course.
You sure? Right, so I'll give you the ring. I'm going to make a cup of tea, obviously. Give you the bell. And I want to ask you something. If you don't mind. So tonight, what did you think about tonight, Hans?
I loved it. I always love a walk through the past. It's kind of because the streets you're talking about are still there, so it's strange, really. It's a bit like Dickens' Christmas Carol. So everything's there, but goes to Christmas past, Christmas present. Yeah, no, I love it, and I do love the heroics of ordinary people.
Well, yeah, because we have so many. We've still got to do them, or those, shall I say, those wonderful philanthropists.
Yeah.
We have to do them, Anthony.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Both ladies and gents.
Yes.
And you're talking like, how can I put it, wealthy people who are, very wealthy people who are great philanthropy. Great philanthropy. And one of the greatest modern day ones is a fella who we know. And he was in one of the greatest bands ever. The greatest bands ever. And a true icon, a true Scouser. He's always back here.
Yeah.
At least 4 times a year.
Yeah. Of Irish. That would be Sir Paul.
Yeah. What a chap he is. People don't realise. Don't realise what kind of a fella he is.
Yeah.
And what he gives.
Yeah. What he continues to do.
Oh, of course. Of course. And Barry says, "Great tonight, Frank. Thanks again. Probably got sidetracked somewhat, but what the hell? Who cares?" Sidetracked. Yeah, it's when we go off on a tangent, to be honest.
Tracks Barry. and back alleys, jiggers.
Look at that Owen Lee there, mate. Good night all, and thoughts go out to Bella.
Brilliant, Owen. Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
And Johan. Thank you, Frank, Mr. Brown, Jason, and Legends. Apologies. The cretins ruined the mood, but the map segment was brilliant. Have a good night, Legends. P.S. Sorry to sound like a broken record still. Do you know, I'm going to blame him. I'm going to blame Anthony because I was waiting for a call off Anthony. But Anthony had a good excuse as well. And if it wasn't going to call him or he wasn't going to call me, whatever, because Anthony has to have, when he's painting, he's like Leonardo da Vinci. He has to have light. You know, with all the gloom and everything else, you know, the bad weather. It was sunny today. And I said, I'm not going to ring him because it's sunny. And I said, right, I won't ring him. And I was waiting for some cloud to go over so I could ring him. But he had other things as well himself, you know, important things. Because he was waiting for a very important phone call. So we just never spoke today. And that's why I didn't send the email. And I'm sorry. See, he's a case here that you want it. But anyway, we can't win, can we? Can't win, haven't we?
We do our best.
Yes.
And always tomorrow. Always.
Barry says, did some power washing for my brother yesterday, and he told me about Dr. Reed after I mentioned I tuned into your stream. Oh, go away. How about that? Well, Dr. Reed, you know, brilliant. Is that Dr. Boswell Reed? Yeah. And Chris, like Frank and Anthony and everyone up the history Reds.
Good night, Christopher. Thanks for being with us.
So tomorrow night, people, I'll be doing, you know, if anyone wants to join me, I know Johan will be there, freezing in his tent at the foot of Everest or K9. And do you know when he first sent me a message and he went, he never said where he was. He mentioned this shimmer or someplace. I had no clue where it is, you know. And he said, it's 3 degrees. And you know the way we think of India?
Yeah.
I thought he was in India. And I thought, it's always roasting there. He's always going to cold places. Little did I know that he's in the foot of the Alps, the Himalayas.
Wow.
So 3 degrees.
What a guy.
He's great, Get the same, says Barry, you know, Boswell Reed, David Boswell Reed. Isn't it funny how you can't think of a name? I would have thought of him later on, you know. But Jason, you know, thank God, you know, he put us up. It's actually a bit warm now. It's 13 tonight. 13. I'm a warm person. So anyway, Anthony, I'll give you the ring later on. Just got to thank Jason. You know, he's throwing up the stuff there tonight. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
And, oh, do you know, I forgot to mention.
Yeah. The guys who look after us.
Yeah. I forgot to mention Gap Painting Services. there he is. There it is, Gap. Forgot to mention them. Gap Payton said, please, you know, as it says there, domestic and commercial, get them in. Fully time served, fully insured, first class. Don't struggle. NHS worker, elderly, get them in. Don't struggle. Special discount for you. And just have a look. Just get them down. Tell them to give you the price without any obligation. Very reasonable, you know. That's Gap Painting Services who sponsor all the shows. Excuse me. And tomorrow night I've got the current affairs. What's going on? Because on Friday I've got the bloody match again. The FA Cup. But as one of the lads said, you better, it was at the polo. He said, you're better off doing this. That was you said, you're better off doing this than the football.
Well, you know where it's going.
So anyway, tomorrow night, boys and girls, if you want to join me, I've got the, you know, which is very important, what's going on today. And it really is shocking. Anthony, it's shocking.
Yes.
Those schoolgirls, over 100 schoolgirls. Between...
I said, it wasn't anything to do with us.
Yeah.
You did coordinations.
Yeah.
You did.
Normally, what they do is say that it was friendly fire. But Anthony, honestly, it's shocking, mate. I just hate it, you know. I really do. I don't use the terminology hate loosely, but that's what I hate. I really do. Anyway, but most importantly, Anthony, who do we have to thank?
As ever, Frank, we thank our Jason and we thank our wonderful chat family who kept us off that park bench.
Yep.
Busy for the night.
Absolutely.
Some brilliant questions coming in tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. We discovered together.
Yeah. Barry says, that should be fun, Frank. Which is more frightening, the match or what's going on in the world? Exactly. Two dark kings. But I'll see you all again tomorrow. Well, I'm not saying all because I know that some of you won't be joining me, but I will be doing I have to because of the match on Friday. It would have been a normal thing. I was just on the history tomorrow of literature because we never covered it tonight. So, but I have to do this. I have to get it off my chest. People who tune in, get it off their chest too. And Friday is the match. And it's an early match, by the way. I'll tell you what we could do, but it'll be late. You're not going out Friday night, are you? With the grouse and, you know, meeting up with all the fellas and everyone else and going to clubs afterwards, are you?
Laney's birthday, Friday, jump. So, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, 22.
22, eh? God blown. She doesn't look over a day of 23.
She'll love you forever. Yeah, so we're just here. But
Oh, that's a shame. No, I mean, you know, I just want you to enjoy yourself. Isn't your birthdays funny? They all seem to be clumped up like around the same time, don't they?
They're all winter. It's like the first up is the twins, which is November, and then me January kind of, and then Emily, and then Lainey. Yeah, yeah. And then Emily's fella is the one and only one that's in July. We've run out of all the wine, all the grouse, everything.
Well, mine's in May, as you know. Francine's is in May. And
Hey,
just going into the June is Sophie's. So that's little clumped up, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's weird the way that works, isn't it? But wonderful, you know.
It is. And Barry says, oh, that's nice. We all thank you both for everything you do here. I love it.
Barry, that's lovely. And you guys being on board is biggest part of the street for us.
Well, that's it, because without them, they wouldn't be what?
We'd be trying to get down Bow Street, uncharted lands,
There'd be no show.
no show.
Anyway, Anthony, I'll give you the ring and make a cup of tea first. And we'll sort something out.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, people. Anthony, go on.
Thanks all, guys. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy the rest of tonight.
Yes.
Weekend.
Yep.
Might need a big drink before the game.
I think you need more than a drink before the game. A couple of tablets as well. But anyway, I hope to see you, some of you, tomorrow. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks,
See you
Frank.
tomorrow.
As ever.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jason.